You think about someone with cancer, and you think, oh, that's really serious and horrible. You would think that it would be kind of depressing. And yet, I gained so much joy and so much hope from these people at St. Al's going through this process that I was just absolutely amazed. Well, our story begins a few years ago, but it culminated with us getting married. And 41 days later, we're sitting here and I turned to her and said, babe, my head hurts. And that's the last I remember for like 3 or 4 days.
His face completely changed, and I just immediately was up out of my seat and over there, and he had started, he was moving all over the place.
I went into a grand mal seizure. And when I did that, I bit down on the left half of my tongue. And poor Kim, we go from watching TV to, babe, my head hurts. And then I'm in a seizure and blood spurting out of my face. When the nurses or doctors would come in and ask me if I knew where I was, no. Do you know why you're here? Because my wife made me.
And he always knew that answer. That's the only answer he ever knew, but he knew that answer. When they got the CAT scan back, and then when they told me it looks like it's cancer, a cancerous brain tumor, and it's the same cancer that he had had previously when he had lung cancer. I mean, I was speechless because I was not expecting to get that kind of news.
You can see right here, this is the right side of the brain because we're looking from below. There's an enhancement, there's a round cystic tumor. And I don't think it was even 3 months since he was just given the green light on being cancer-free. And then he had this setback of a tumor showing up in the brain. That's where I got to meet Kerry.
Meeting Andre was interesting. He walked into the room and he looks at me and he says, I'm Andre, your neurosurgeon. And Andre has this impeccable English with this real thick veneer of European accent. So my response to him was, what planet are you from? And he said, the planet Czechoslovakia. And I said, have we gotten to the point where we have to import neurosurgeons from Czechoslovakia? And he came right back and said, only the lucky ones.
I think what I remember is that he called his tumor Teddy. I think so we were getting rid of Teddy. Even though you're talking about death or cancer, I think you have to laugh. And that's great about Kerry because he's been able to stay very positive through this.
My younger brother, Kelly, seems to have a wicked, weird sense of humor. So he gave me this shirt after my surgery.
And what does it say?
I'm allowed to do weird things. I had a brain tumor. And I wear it from time to time. The morning after the surgery, Andre, he came into my room. He described it as a golf ball-sized ball of snot. So he said, I was able to go in and puncture it with a syringe and draw out the liquid center. There was very little destruction of brain matter. And as I've gotten to know you, I realize that that's a good thing because you don't have any despair. He asked me, is there anything more we need to talk about? I said, no, we're good. Thanks for taking the time. I know you're a busy guy. He walks over, he took me in a full embrace. And then he said in my ear, I feel blessed to have had you come into my life. Now, it was so moving. I mean, even now, months later, I think about that and the emotion was amazing. And all my fears went away and they've stayed gone.
So in our system, we connect every patient through our system together. So when our neurosurgeon saw him, when Andre saw him and saw the case, he immediately calls me and we have a conversation. We don't make decisions on our own, we make decisions together as a team. We try to connect the patient throughout the course. And with Kerry, that was how we do it. With every single patient, we make sure that they have all the context they need to get the things done. And that's what I love about it. It's not just one component, it's the entire team.
Bobby's a really interesting cat. He came from Chicago. His dad has been in the medical profession since Moby Dick was a minnow. I understand Bobby because I said, "What brought you to Idaho?" And he said, "My wife made me move." He's common, he's personable, he's caring, incredibly bright, incredibly gifted.
You can't treat someone with cancer by just coming into that room and providing them with the drugs and the treatment plans and so on. It's an entire approach to that person, understanding how they feel, what support they're going to need, and what support they have.
My outlook would not be nearly what it is without Kim. She's that rare human that has the ability to take anything on that she wants to, accomplish it well. I can't imagine going through this by myself.
He's a type of person that is not just about himself. He's about the people around him. He doesn't just want a doctor-patient relationship. He wants a connection. And that's how I approach every patient, is that we are family in this room.
When you're dealing with someone, they need to know that they are the only ones that you are looking after. They are the number one in that moment. You may be taking care of, 5 other people at the same time, but it is really all about that person at that particular moment. He has my cell phone. I have his. Most of my patients have mine. So it is, I think you develop a relationship and trust. And you have to trust each other. It's not just one way.
The one thing I appreciate with the Saint Al staff is that when given the opportunity, it's more like a relationship building than you are just a patient and you come in and they put you in this little cubby and do what they need to do and poke you with what they need to poke you with and then get out of here. That is so far from the reality of what we've experienced.
That is true, yes.
I guess it is somewhat about fate. We are all on the same journey and we're all going to have the same outcome. Your expiration date's the thing. When is that going to happen? And so what I get from it is every day, look for ways to squeeze joy out of your day. This is going to sound really weird, but this has been the most uplifting experience I've ever had.